Just before this video gets going, I do want to mention that I have a Discord server. Join if you want to suggest new video ideas or come hang out with us. And if you like what you see here today, you'll like pretty much everything else on my channel, so why not subscribe? Thanks. Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I do just want to talk about a situation that I've been seeing on Twitter blow up over the past couple of weeks. I've been meaning to make a video on this for about a couple of days now, and the exact reason I wanted to make a video on this is because people on Twitter are trying to use this tragic event as an excuse to be racist to either black people, and then the black people are trying to be racist towards the white people in retaliation. But I'm sure you've seen this picture so far on Twitter or anywhere on social media, really. It's been blowing up over the past couple of days. But the white guy is Austin Metcalf and the black guy is Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest after the two had gotten into an altercation about whether or not Carmelo Anthony could sit under the tent, which apparently was owned by the school. Austin notices Carmelo, who is the captain of his track and football team, sitting under their tent as it started raining, and reportedly he told him that he couldn't be there because this is their school's tent and he needed to leave, to which then Carmelo apparently said, "Touch me and see what happens," and then things escalated even further when Carmelo would stab Austin Metcalf in the chest, leaving him dying in his brother's arms. Minutes later, he was then arrested and then confessed to the crime. But everything since this situation happened just makes everything way worse, and it's honestly disgusting.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf's twin brother was at the track with him. His family says he died in his brother's arms. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with the teen's victim's father and is live in Frisco tonight. Amelia.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
Is only left with memories.
As I said before, a lot of accounts on Twitter, or even just people in America that have been hearing about the situation, have immediately chalked this up to being a race thing when it really wasn't, or at least it was never reported to be that way. And all of this is happening even after Austin Metcalf's father told everybody that this wasn't a race thing and don't try to make it a race thing or a political thing, because it genuinely isn't about that stuff.
It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online. This is about human compassion. The world needs more kind people. If you can't find one, be one.
Over the past couple of days, there was also a small get-together, I guess you could call it. I say that because it didn't really seem like that many people were in attendance, but this rally was to protect white lives, and they were using the Austin Metcalf tragedy as kind of like a catapult to do something like this. And actually, the interesting thing about the clip that I'm about to show you is that Austin Metcalf's father was, asked to speak on his son's behalf, or just to say some stuff about what's going on, and he absolutely gave it to this guy who is clearly using this tragedy as a catapult to be racist.
Is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
Are you done?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
As you can see, just absolutely disgusting comments to the grieving father, who's literally just trying to correct people in their misunderstanding of the case that's happening. So now what about Carmelo Anthony? Well, personally, I feel like he shouldn't be free right now, because in all honesty, all that has done is just made things worse. On top of the fact that his family set up a Give, Send, Go account to where they had their original goal at 100,000, I think, saying that they were going to need some help financially with legal troubles and things like that to, I guess pay the lawyers and whatnot. But then after that happened, they had reached their goal. Surprisingly, they got even more money to where now it's sitting at about almost $500,000. Now, a lot of people were calling this out because, in my opinion, they were rightfully angry, and a lot of rumors which have been disproven at this point, but at the time they were coming out saying that Carmelo Anthony's family took the Give, Send, Go money and rented a $900,000 house in a gated community and even bought him a new car or whatever, all of which were disproven, especially by the co-creator of Give, Send, Go, which they even stated themselves that the Anthony family didn't even touch the money yet. But here's the family's official response on the Give, Send, Go website. They said that the purpose of the fund is for legal defenses, but even though that's part of the reason why they have this fund up, the funds aren't going to be solely allocated to that. The funds raised will also support a range of urgent and necessary needs that have emerged as a result of the situation, including, but are not limited to, the safe relocation of Anthony and his family due to the escalating threats of their safety, as well as basic living costs, transportation, counseling, and other security measures. Now, taking a little bit of a step back and just kind of going over what I'm familiar with, there have been some reports of Austin Metcalf and his brother being known bullies and them trying to force Anthony out of the tent to which they didn't own in the first place. Now, that's up in the air. That's never really been proven yet. But another part of this that I did want to touch on is the whole thing about the track meet and whether or not it was normal or right for Carmelo Anthony to actually be under the tent that supposedly belonged to another school. Now, here's a little lore drop about me for those of you who are watching. I used to run track back when I was younger. I used to go to all the track meets. Now, I wasn't really ever good at it per se, but it's neither here nor there. But at track meets, if you've never been to one, you're usually sharing a area or a building with a bunch of other teams or schools from around the area. It's not uncommon to make friends this way, as a matter of fact. And seeing as though it's been reported that it was raining that day, that could have been the reason why Carmelo Anthony was under the tent. And it genuinely just wouldn't really be that much of an issue, I guess, because stuff like that is normal for a track meet. You'll see a bunch of other kids or other people around and you're sharing an area for multiple hours. It's also very common to just, go somewhere shaded or plop down somewhere after you've already performed, because sometimes you won't have to run for another couple of hours. It's the exact same thing when it comes to AAU and basketball. You're in a gym with multiple other courts that have multiple other teams that are playing at the time or waiting to play, and sometimes you just end up making friends in the bathroom or something. But there's generally no designated area where you sit unless it's kind of like numbered that way. I've been to areas where it's been like that, where like, hey, your team is set up here. This is where you guys congregate. It's not like it's against the rules to go around and mingle, but you're not really sitting with anyone else that you don't know. Now let's talk about the knife, which is kind of like the second part to this whole thing. In my opinion, there should be some level of security. You should check the kids, check the adults. I don't really know what the security detail was like that day, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't really even released. But in my opinion, I think it might be a little bit of the school's fault too, simply because in this day and age, how do you let someone just walk past with a knife? Even if it was for self-defense, I don't think anybody should be carrying a weapon, right? Especially not into a public area like this. I believe it was just absurd that Carmelo was even able to bring a knife to a track meet. Why he even had it in the first place, I guess it was for self-defense. It's a track meet though, so it just kind of baffles me, I guess. But whether or not he had it for self-defense and whether or not that's going to hold up in court, I guess is going to depend all on what exactly happened. And this is apparently because in Texas, to claim self-defense, you would have to jump through a lot more hoops to even prove that you were defending yourself at the time. But yeah, so far, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens and if this even gets a full-blown trial. Before then, I believe this has to go to a grand jury where some people will look at the evidence and decide whether or not Carmelo will be facing certain certain charges for what he did. So yeah, all in all, I just feel like what's happening right now with people and them using this situation to be racist, it's one, absolutely disgusting, and two, somewhat predictable, especially by the accounts that are usually like this on Twitter. You know, Ian Miles Chung and wokeness. I've even seen some things from libs of TikTok, which is a shame because I kind of like them. But as I said before, the exact same thing is happening in defense for Carmelo Anthony. This account exposing racists and pedos. If you go through their tweets about the situation, it's pretty clear exactly where they stand. But then there are some black people out there who are threatening white people and bringing slavery into this. Like, my guy, stop it. You are not helping the situation at all.
To all of the people who are against Carmelo Anthony, me as a black man in America, white people, I'm telling you and I'm telling you now, you ever even think to approach me, bully me, harass me, think you're going to be with your twin brother or twin whatever, and do anything to me, I too will poke you as well. Straight to the heart. And that's on self-defense. This is not the Jim Crow era. This ain't 400 years ago. This ain't 1619. This ain't back in them days. Y'all don't want to end up like Austin. Leave black people alone. Y'all didn't play fair for 400 years. We ain't playing fair with y'all either.
I genuinely just wish that people would respect the wishes of Austin Metcalf's father and not make this a race issue, not make this a political issue. Look at what's been presented so far and see this as someone who made a bad decision and it resulted in the tragic death of an aspiring college athlete. Literally does nothing for anybody making it about race. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button. If you want more content similar to this, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Sub up, stay safe, and peace.